Pete, very good to see you. Today, we're going to talk about the three biggest retirement expenses and how to control them. And you have to make sure that these expenses are part of your financial plan or you may run out of money. First, though, you need a written income plan. The only way to combat the possibility of expenses exceeding assets is to have that written retirement income plan that takes all of these expenses into account, which is why, Pete, with you, this is often step number one with your clients.
Yeah, absolutely. First things first, a written income plan is the basics to retirement planning. Uh, with a written income plan, you can be prepared for the known expenses coming your way, unexpected expenses, and potential expenses. So having a written income plan is being prepared so there's no guessing, basically.
Right.
Now, what do you need to have an income plan? Well, the first thing you're going to need is a basic budget. So we're going to ask our clients to look at their monthly expenses. Now, this isn't for big ticket items. This is what it costs to live each year to pay your bills, each month to pay your bills. Then we're going to look at your guaranteed income sources. And for all of us, that's our Social Security. For some of you, you may have a pension, and for others, they create guaranteed income streams through annuities. Once we know what your guaranteed income is going to be, we compare that to your budget. Most people have a shortfall, the gap between your guaranteed income and what you need to live on. And that's when we're going to look at your retirement accounts, your your retirement accounts and your non-retirement accounts to fill that gap. So having an income plan is the first step. The next step is a tax plan. And we'll talk about that in a little bit.
Right. And that is step number one, Pete. I'm glad you led me there because that is essentially your largest known expense, taxes. This is something you specialize in.
Yeah, absolutely. In retirement, taxes don't go away. How you get your income does change.
Right.
And when you're retired, you get to choose how much income you're going to take on a monthly basis and an annual basis and where you're going to take that money from. So having tax deferred money, most of our clients or most new clients come into our office, they have 60 to 90% of their retirement savings in tax deferred IRAs and 401ks. That's an issue that we take on straight on. We're either going to fill the tax bracket each year to lower that IRA balance, or we're going to put together a structure of converting to Roth IRAs to get that tax burden out of the way while we know where taxes are. The tax law just got continued, 2017 tax breaks. But again, our government's just kicking the can down the road. So we have to be prepared for future tax increases. And what we can do now with what we know, we have 4 more years of these lower tax brackets. This is the time we need to get busy and looking at converting.
Right. And next we have our largest potential expense, and that is healthcare.
Yeah, another big issue here. Excuse me. With the present law right now, Medicare Part A, which is our hospital insurance, is solvent until 2026. At that time, they're only going to be able to afford 89% of the promised benefits. So again, what is this pointing towards? This is pointing towards us taking care of ourselves and not relying on the government. So we've got to plan for future costs coming our way for health insurance, long-term care expenses. How do we do that? Well, we put a plan together, either putting in long-term care insurance now or making sure that your assets are going to grow enough and that produce enough income during your life, but also to be used later in life for long-term care. We have to plan ourselves.
Right. And last, we have the silent thief, inflation.
Yeah, inflation is something that we kind of forgot about after the financial crisis in 2008 up until COVID. We remembered what inflation was like.
Absolutely.
After that. So inflation is silent. It slowly erodes at your purchasing power. How do you combat inflation? Well, we don't know what inflations are going to be in the future. So what we do is when we project your income and your taxes, we're going to use a very high rate of inflation to stress test to make sure your assets are going to grow enough to keep up with that possible inflation in the future. So you can't do anything about the possibility of inflation or higher taxes, but you can plan for that and put structures in place so that you're prepared for what's coming our way, basically.
Right. It's all about that proactive planning because these risks and these expenses, they're known. So start planning for them now. So Pete, if somebody wants to sit down with you and make sure these expenses are part of their financial plan, what's the best way to reach you?
Absolutely. Give our office a call, 847-499-3342. We'll be glad to sit down and go over your particular numbers. Thank you so much, Erin.
All right, Pete, thanks for your time. I really appreciate it.
You bet. Have a great day.